Today we're going to be diving into our weekly reading, but we are going to be hanging out with my grandfather today. Well, my grandfather has crossed over to the other side, so we're going to be hanging out with him in spirit. Today is his birthday, and so normally I bake a milk pie for his birthday because that's like it was his favorite thing in the whole world. But I had already made my milk pie, so today we're going to be making some gingerbread cookies, and I already have the dough all ready. So all we have to do is just cut out our little gingerbread men and bake them up. While hanging out with my grandfather's spirit. Maybe he can give us some grandfatherly advice from the other side. So I thought it'd be fun to pull some cards for him, as well as, like I said, diving into that weekly reading. But if you are here for the very first time, my name is Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, you can go ahead and check out that information box down below. Check out my website, kittensweightsandtarot.com, as well as checking out our witchy shop, Desert Cauldron, James's shop, Light of Riga, all that good stuff down below. And I want to say hello, shout out to all my homies, everybody who's coming in for the live chat. Thank you, my live chat homies, everybody who comments, likes the videos that James and I put out, the channeling videos. And then I've been trying to put out the either channelings or meditations that I do during the live chats, just kind of single them out for people that go straight for that. But I also want to thank all of my subscribers. So I think we just hit over 9,700 a few days ago. So I'm like, whoa, whoa, it's like a lot of people. I know there are people with like millions of subscribers, but like 9,700 is a lot of people. But also thank you to everybody who supports me over on my YouTube membership. So all my YouTube members, you can check them out. They got little colored kitty heads next to their name. So Liesel and Kayla and Susie, Jamie, Caitlin, thank you guys so much. And also to my patrons. So Myrna and Liesel and Heather and Lily and Dana, Jamie, Kayla, Syrian, Brandy, Samara, Jason, Brian. Thank you guys so much. Love you all. All right. So it looks like we have some lovely homies in the chat right now. Susie's here. Hey. And Susie's wishing my grandfather a happy birthday. She said, I may not stay the entire live, but we will see. Caitlin saying merry meet to everyone. Hello, hello. My two fabulous moderators. She said, I was starting to think you were not going to go live today. I have Water Temple, a Dark Goddess Oracle of Mystical Moments. Edgar says, hey everyone, how are you all today? X's and O's. So hello to Edgar. Andrew's here. Hello, hello. Says, good morning. I'm going to be multitasking today. Sadly, it's good to be here either way. Excellent. Susie reminded people to smash that like button. Thank you. Let's see. Edgar said, currently I'm in the task of decorating my living room. Looking good so far. Have you all decorated for Yuletide? That is a good question. I just pulled out my ornaments yesterday. We went out into the forest and picked a nice pinyon pine that's not too far from home that I could decorate. So I'm gonna put my ornaments on there, but I was thinking of also adding some citrus. I have some fresh cranberries that I could string and put up there, and I think that the forest animals and the birds would really like it on our Yule tree. So the tree's all picked out, just got to decorate it. I don't have too much in the way of like home decorations. It's mostly all for the tree. But I got a couple of festive candles going on in here, a couple of stuffed reindeer animals, like, so cool. Caitlin said, doing good. I have to get my glasses changed Tuesday, but that's always fun. All right. Kayla's here. What's up, Kayla and Michelle? Hey, chicas, how are you? Edgar's asking how I'm doing. I'm doing fabulous. It's a little cold in the home, but it's much warmer outside. But we got to come in here because we're going to bake gingerbread cookies, but we can go back out afterwards, so no worries. Michelle wishing my grandfather happy birthday as well. Caitlin said, also fun fact, next week, the 10th, is Brian's 51st birthday. Ooh, well, happy birthday to him. Susie's color theme right now is red and gold for Yule. Michelle says, can you tell us one of your favorite stories with your grandfather? Yes, that is what I want to share while we get our cookies going today. I want to share some stories. His spirit is kind of always around me, so I'm going to be asking him some like grandpa questions. Like, what is some advice he has for all of us, from that grandfatherly, divine, masculine energy? I thought that might be fun. Um, Let's see. Edgar says silver, white, blue on the inside for me, reds and whites and browns for the outside. Oh, for Yule. Excellent. Lily's here. Hey, Lily. Caitlin said, I'm a total redneck. I never take the decorations down. Hey, you know what? The hood is not far because when I was growing up in the ghetto, like the Christmas decorations just never came down. It was just like, oh, it's Christmas. Plug it back in. It's just, it's just the plugs just dangling there by the outlet, or sometimes you just keep turning them on all year round because that's how we do, yo. Like, let's see. Michelle's like, yay, I like your grandpa's energy. Dude, my grandpa is dope. And I'm sure that you guys all have some wonderful grandfathers, either physical or in spirit as well. So let's, we'll invite in all the grandpas. They can all come in, hang out for my grandpa's birthday. Andrew said, I used to live in a hippie area where the decorations stayed up year round. I miss it there. See, rednecks, hippies, ghetto rats, psh, we get along. All right. So first of all, I have made some tea for this morning to kind of warm me up in here because it's a little chill. It'll get up into the 50s today, so it's not going to be too cold. And this one I've been using, let me show you. If you're interested in making a tea for yourself, I'm using this like Himalayan green tea. So from up in the Himalayas. It's actually really good. I like I don't know, it seems to be a lot deeper than like normal green tea, I guess I would get. I don't know, it's just got more of a richness to it. And then I've added my chaga mushrooms as well. So just a little bit of extra body support, body help. I like kind of drinking tea throughout the day, at least now that it's cold. Because as you know, we're eating source energy at the moment. If you haven't seen that channeling, I believe that was our last channeling that we had, was channeling eating source energy. So straight from the source instead of eating physical food. We're still eating physical food. It's just one meal a day, and that's at dinner time. But normally throughout the day, we're not eating at all, no snacks or anything, just staying super hydrated. And for me, I drink tea. And I guess, if I could drink tea, then it feels like I don't need food because it's like, but anyway, I want to keep, all the systems humming along, while we're working on transitioning from food to source as food. I don't know. So chaga mushroom, green tea. All righty, you guys. Let's go ahead and let's get baking. Let's see. Aurora says, I'm looking at the ceramic Santa dog with Belle in his mouth at the moment. Edgar said, Christmas and Halloween really end up like a Tim Burton film if decorations don't go down. Exactly. Michelle said, yum. Caitlin said, Mom and I named him Barry after our cousin. Aw. Okay, so I'm putting on my apron. This was actually made by one of my a teacher that I used to work with, one of her friends. She used to make aprons for people, and so she made a special Hello Kitty one just for me. But I did get to bust out my Christmas clothes yesterday, my Yule Christmas time clothing from up in our storage. So I got my little, here we go. I got my little Santa Snoopy on. I have, of course, my little bell. Found my earrings and stuff. So, okay, getting in the spirit. So this is a Hello Kitty. Okay. Sorry if I'm banging the microphone. Okay, let's get ready here. Just tying myself up. Okay. So first things first, we are going to get this oven nice and toasty. So let's do that. It takes a few tries to keep the flame from going out. But yeah, I just got to use the lighter, get this stove going. So I just give the flame like, I don't know, 20 seconds, and then I try to ignite it. Come on, baby. You can burn. You can do it. Oh, it went out. Okay. We'll try it again. Because we're going to have to get this oven up to 350. No, come on. Sometimes the flame gets really stubborn and it just takes a while to get it going. But that's okay. Like, why? Maybe because it's so cold or something. It gets a little issue sometimes. Doopy doopy doop. What would my grandfather say at the moment like this? He'd say the GD light and the GD thing needs to GD. He called everything the GD this or the G whiz that. Okay, now I'm going to have to count to 30 seconds. There we go. Excellent. See, I knew I could get it going. Okay, let's see. We're going to need some foil, y'all. And we're going to need a little cookie sheet. Okay. Hold on. Let me just get this going up here. Kayla said Santa Snoopy, so cute. Caitlin says, I liked Hello Kitty, but was never into her. I was more Bratz, Polly Pocket, etc. Me and Hello Kitty been together since I was like 3. Susie loved Hello Kitty growing up. Kayla said, me too, and Polly Pocket. I always wanted a Polly Pocket. Susie says she'll be listening, but won't be in the chat too much. Hey, no worries. Caitlin said, Q, one of the terrible one-hit wonders ever. Then again, aren't most one-hit wonders terrible? No, there's some cool jams from one-hit wonders, you know, and you love that one jam. Acadia's worker, hello. Okay. We're just getting our little cookie tray ready with some foil. And as I'm getting this ready, do you guys have some holiday memories, maybe holiday memories with your grandparents, your grandfather, your grandmother, maybe, that you guys want to share? I'd love to hear them in the chat because I'm going to share some stories as well. Okay, I'm going to put this off to the side. And then I'm going to get my dough out of the freezer. The freezer smells like gingerbread. Okay, so I got my dough in here. We're going to be smoothing that out with my rolling pin, but I need you guys to check out this rolling pin. It's got little kitty cats on here. Katie says hugs and great vibes to all. Hello, hello. Caitlin says true. I think what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Okay, dude, I love that song. Susie said, my grandpa was very smart and he used to cut sharp cheddar cheese for me on his cutting board. It was so good. Aw. We would go fishing too. You know, I used to go fishing with my grandfather. He'd usually take me and my Uncle Danny, and we'd go fishing. The only problem was that there was a couple of holes in the boat. And so the whole time that we're fishing, we're also kind of shoveling water out the boat. So it was kind of like, I don't know, my grandfather liked to drink, by the way. Like he drank a lot of Miller Lights. Like that was his drink of choice, was just crushing Miller Lights. So we'd be there, we're just like fishing. My uncle, who's only like 7 years older than me, we'd be there with our little fishing poles, but we're also like throwing water out the side of the boat. And it didn't fill up fast. It was like small holes, but there was like Bondo like all over this boat. And it was just like this little silver, I don't know, like boat. It was just plain old boat. But I just remember that like we have to shovel the water out so we don't sink while we're fishing. um, Lily's like, ah. Caitlin says, Gran always had a funny way of hiding Christmas presents. One year she gave a bra and underwear set hidden in a pizza box. That's awesome. Marcus is here. He says, good evening from Mumbai, India. What's up? Okay, we're going to put this on some flour. We're going to flour our surface here. We like to keep our little scraps off to the side here of all our little food scraps so they go back into the forest. Okay, so make a little floured surface here. Hold on, maybe I should turn this so you guys can see. There we go. Little floured surface. And I want to flour up this rolling pin just a little bit. Maybe I'll get some more flour from here. There we go. And we do that just so it doesn't stick to anything. We don't want it sticking to my rolling pin, and we don't want it sticking to this surface. Okay. And then we take our gingerbread. And if after the chat today you want the gingerbread recipe, I'd be more than happy to put it in the comment section. So that way you can, just copy it down if you wish. Okay, so I'm gonna put that off to the side. Let's get our cookie cutters. I'm gonna have you guys choose which cookie cutters we're gonna use. Okay, keep all my cookie cutters in this fancy grocery bag. Let's see. Edgar says, I remember visiting my grandparents in Mexico. We would go do posadas, which is like a marching meal party. Katie says, love the roller. I'm Italian. We are 7 fishes on Christmas Eve. Oh, cool. Edgar says, we would then break the 7-pointed star piñata with candies. Yay, fun times. Marcus says, good earrings worn, and wonderful costume. Well, thank you. Susie says, I have real cookie cutters from the 1950s from my mom and my grandpa. Me too. I mean, these are all kind of like hand-me-down cookie cutters. Some I bought myself, but Edgar says it was fun trying to bring some of it back. That's so cool. All right. So, let's see. Okay, well, the last gingerbread cookies I made with these little Yule trees, which James had picked out. Okay, but we have candy canes. We could do reindeer if we want to. What else do we have in here? Anybody want some angels? We got angels. Some of these are so old. Like these ones, these are like my old school. Like my mom got them from her mom way back when. Okay. We have some like kung fu fighting gingerbread men. I, of course, don't have any normal gingerbread men. We have a teddy bear, in case anybody was wanting a teddy bear. I got another kung fu guy. Okay. We have some more kung fu dudes. Like, Caitlin said, first card from the deck of Mystical Moments Bloom. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so let's see what you guys think we should make these cookies out of. Should it be some more, I guess, Yule Christmassy? So we could do angels, reindeers, and candy canes. We could do just teddy bears, or we can do kung fu gingerbread men. It's up to you guys. And by the way, these cookies kind of blow up and puff out, so they kind of still keep their shape. They just look a little bloated. um, Caitlin's wondering if I have any flowers. I don't think I have any flowers, actually. What do I have left in here? I have Hello Kitty. I have a unicorn. I got maples, a maple leaf, a couple maple leaves. I have hearts and stars. Yeah, like some hearts and stars. I got a lobster. I don't know. Yep, that's it. I got rid of all the other. I used to have a ton, like a huge bag of cookie cutters, but we were moving into such a small space. I was so sad I had to give up some of those really old cookie cutters that were like my grandmother's and stuff, but I didn't really use them. But these ones I do use, some of hers here. So Susie says, I like trees and angels. Kayla likes the candy cane. Caitlin says unicorn. Mom loved unicorns. And Lily is here. Hello, hello. KDS Worker likes angels. Okay, so let's do tree, angel, candy cane, unicorn. We could do that. We could do tree, angel, candy cane. Where are you, unicorn? Here we go. Unicorn. Lily likes the kung fu. Okay, we could throw a kung fu man in there, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a little kung fu man. Okay, we have our cookie cutters, you guys. I think we picked 5 good ones. So let's do it. Okay, so here are your picks. We have a candy cane. We're going to do a little Yule tree. We have an angel. We have a unicorn. And kung fu gingerbread man. Okay, so let's get to rolling this out just a bit. There we go. Doesn't need too much rolling out. Might be a little dry too, so I'm gonna add a little bit of water. Just because it's been in the freezer, so maybe got a little dried out in there. Oops. Okay. Maybe we'll have to do like I did in the last one. Just kind of press this out. There we go. Sometimes you gotta get your hands dirty. Okay. It's hard to feel my fingers though, because my fingers are cold. Okay. I was just thinking, There's one memory that's my favorite with my grandfather, and I would stay up at my grandparents' house in Ridgecrest, which is in the high desert. Um, and I would stay there during my summers, and it would just be me, sometimes me and my brother. But this was a time when it was just me, and it would be like 5 in the morning. In summertime, it's blazing hot in the high desert. So it's already like 90 some degrees, almost 100 degrees by the time it's like 5 or 6 a.m. So you have to get up early. The only blankets my grandmother owns are wool blankets because they're from Ohio. So they never really changed because they're kind of cheap too. So I'd be on like wool blankets in like 90 some degree heat. I'm like, ugh, just like trying to sleep naked. And my grandfather, he'd throw like rocks or something up at my window because I would stay in my Uncle Danny's room. And I would hear him out there. He's like, Tara, Tara, can Tara come out and play? Can Tara come out and play? And he'd keep throwing like little rocks up at my window. And then I'd run to the window. I'm like, hey, Grandpa, good morning. And he's like, can you come out and play? And I'm like, yeah. And then I would run downstairs. And he would usually have like a little project for me, just a little something so I could like feel like I'm hammering and nailing, because he was building my grandmother's house from like the ground up. So he built her a beautiful 2-story house with a wraparound porch. Like she said, this is the house I want. And he built it for her. And she wanted a little yellow house. So he painted it yellow with white trim. Um, and so he was always working on something. So he was always like sawing something or hammering because he was working on the house for like years. Um, and so I'd come out and he'd give me like some nails and a hammer and be like, oh, I need you to go hammer this or something. And to me, that was play. That was fun. He kept all the nails in a Folgers coffee can. And sometimes he would just hand that to me and tell me to go like build a soapbox or get creative, So yeah, but I always like that memory. It was like, Tara, can you come out and play? um, Let's see. Caitlin said, "Oh man, that scene from Shrek 4 is going through my head where Gingy is fighting the animal crackers." Aw. She says, "I have to admit though, Shrek 3 was awkward when you consider the fact Timberlake and Cameron Diaz used to be a couple." Interesting. Okay. First things first. Let's turn this. Oh, you guys can see. Okay, so we're going Christmas tree. Out you come. Come on, little Christmas tree. Little Yule tree. Okay, little Yule tree, making it over to the tray here. Okay, somebody wanted an angel. We got it. Angels coming up. Angels in the outfield. And these metal cookie cutters, these were my grandmother's. So, I don't know, I guess they're sort of on the old side. They're from the 50s. Okay, let's fix our little angel there. Okay, little angel. All right. Somebody else wanted a candy cane. Oh, thanks, Susie. Ah. Lily says that was so sweet. He built her a house. Love it. Yeah, he was pretty handy. He was um, a lieutenant commander in the United States Navy, and he was an engineer. So he was in charge of building guidance systems and doing things for missiles and whatnot. But in his retired years, it was just building things. So he just built everything. And my Uncle Danny actually took after him with good architectural skills and everything. My Uncle Danny actually, when he was a teenager, he built his own dune buggy by himself from the ground up. Like he welded all the metal together. He built a car basically. And then he built me a swing set when I was like 5 or 6, you know. So my uncle's always been cool at building stuff. He ended up, well, not building a house, but remodifying a house, kind of building it out sort of on the inside for his wife. So yeah, I'd say he took after my grandpappy. Okay, we have a little ninja guy here. So this ninja guy is going over here. Okay, and then we have somebody who wanted a unicorn. Caitlin says, yes, I admit it. I used to be Christian. Oh, hey, no worries. We, I think it's great as human beings. We can grow, shift our belief systems. Some people go from one religion to another, or they go to totally different belief system that's not religion, maybe something a little bit more individual. But that's what we do. We change as people. It's okay. It's all growth. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix the unicorn's horn. I knew that's something that gets a little stuck on this particular cookie cutter. Let's see if I can get it out without killing it. Okay, take a little knife to this. Ha! Unicorn tip. Okay. The unicorn horn is saved. All right. So let's do it again. We'll do another little Christmas tree. Little Yule tree there. All right. Come on, you can get off the counter. Maybe because the counter is freezing, some things are sticking. All right. Just fix that little tree real quick. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, we could do another little angel. Susie says, both my grandpas missed World War II due to medical reasons. I have often thought if one had served, I probably wouldn't be here. Oh my goodness. Caitlin says, my great great uncle and my biological great grandfather both were in World War II. I have a ton of military in my family. Yeah, it's interesting. My dad's father, my Filipino grandfather, he came over in, it was the 1920s or the 1930s. He came to America. And one way he got to come over was if he joined the military. And if he joined the military, he got to bring over one family member. So he brought his sister from Cebu, Philippines, but they were in Manila at the moment. Let's see if we can roll this up and see if we can get some more cookies out of this. Yeah, but my grandfather, well, we called him Grandpa Gypto. So Grandpa Gypto, or just Gypto, some people call him. Yeah, but that was my dad's father. And then my mom's father, his mother's mother came over from Germany. And so apparently she became a school teacher and she owned a deli when she was here, like a supermarket / deli. My grandmother, who's also from like Ohio, because my grandfather was also from Ohio, and that's where they met. They actually met outside of their respective churches. So like my grandmother went to an Irish Catholic church, and my grandfather went to a Lutheran church. And the churches apparently were right across the street from each other. And they saw each other, and it was like instant connection. So they got married not too long after that. And my grandmother was a call girl. No, not the call girl you guys are thinking of, but she was a switchboard girl. So when people called, basically like collect, it's like, hello, how may I direct your call? That was like my grandmother. And and her grandmother was from Ireland. Actually, they came from Kerry and Limerick, Ireland. Yeah, and then they got married. My grandfather got shipped out different places. He fought in Vietnam. So they were a little too young for World War II, but not my dad's side of the family. My dad's side's 20 years older. So so my grandfather there, yeah, he fought in World War II. Um my nana's brothers were fought in World War II. My nana is my grandmother on my dad's side. Um and she just kind of like helped out. Her sister um was also kind of like she was more than just the USO. Like she did some like undercover stuff for uh the military when during World War II. So she was in charge of like passing messages discreetly and things like that. So, and actually, I think my great aunt Helen is on the internet telling her story and telling how it was and um, how like military was the only option because everybody was so poor that they didn't really have food. Like sometimes there just wasn't any food. And my dad said that sometimes he would sneak into friends' houses after they left like for work and for school just to raid their fridge because he was so hungry. Like he was like, we just were poor. And they did get government assistance, but they were 8 children and a single mom. And it was just like not enough. So they all kind of just joined the military because it seemed like that's the only thing they could do. So it's a different time, I think, than now. Okay, so we have a candy cane, we have a ninja, and we have another little angel here. Let me just move these over. Let's see, I'm gonna try to put another little ninja in here, actually. Let's see if we get this ninja in here. Okay, I think that's gonna be enough cookies for this run. That's 8 cookies on the sheet. Show you guys. All right, so these guys are going in. Let's see how our temperature looks. All right, we're good. We're cooking with gasolina. Technically, we're cooking with propane, but you know. Okay, in you go. All right, we'll give those about 10 minutes. What's the time? 9:39. All right, 9:49, we'll take them out. Okay, in the meantime, I will put these cookies off to the side and we can grab those in a jiff. Maybe I'll put some more flour over here so we don't stick to the counter and such. Okay, candy cane, you're going over here. Little angel who I just accidentally decapitated, we're going over here. Don't worry, I'll stick your head back on. It's all good. Okay, and then we'll do one more rollout, I think, of this dough. Let's see. Okay, so I, I have a bunch of home videos. Maybe I'll like watch them later, but there's one I know it was caught on video back. You guys remember the old home videos, right? The giant VHS freaking camcorder, and it's like when you think you're recording the whole time and you realize somebody forgot to put the freaking tape in the camcorder, or it was already out of tape, or it's like, you know, my mom's like getting ready to like film the school play, and all of a sudden it's like empty, empty. You know, it's like only got to film like the first 2 minutes, you know? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, let's roll this puppy out just a little bit more. Come on. You can do it. All right, all right. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Susie said Grandpa was born in 1911. My other 19, the other 1914 blows my mind to think about it. Yeah, my grandpa was born in 1900 on my birthday, June 10th, 1900. Technically, I was born on his birthday, I guess then. And my grandpa on my mom's side was born December 3rd, 1939. And his wife, my grandmother, was born in 1938. But my other grandmother was born in 1921. So they're all over the place. Um, Caitlin says, I don't know why this is coming up for me all of a sudden, but do you remember Steve Harvey's infamous slip up when he accidentally named Miss Columbia Miss Universe when really Miss Philippines won? I don't remember that. Interesting. She said, grand sister in law was Irish. Edgar says, my brother had just gotten a fight with the dog over the Christmas tree. He was trying to bring it in. Doggy wasn't having it, tugged at the tree. Caitlin said, that's why you have a tree table, Edgar. Edgar says, I was just watching from the window, like, well, this is interesting. KDS says, how do you all determine whom to trust as healers and channelers on YouTube? Ooh, that's a good question. Let's have a little chit chat about that. Caitlin was saying, oh, about the camcorder. So the lens cap gets left on. Yep. Edgar says, every time I watch Tara, I get hungry. Now I'm craving Christmas cookies. You're welcome. But KDS Worker did have a great question. How do you feel like who you can trust in terms of like healers, channelers? For me, I trust my intuition like wholeheartedly. So sometimes it's like, I'll be watching somebody and it's just, it doesn't feel right. Maybe we're just not on the same frequency or it just doesn't feel like that's like what I want to chillax with. So, I just go until I do feel like a connection with somebody. Like I feel like what they're saying is genuine, or I feel like there's something I could learn from this person. Um, sometimes it's just something I need to learn from one video, and it's not like, somebody I want to binge watch, but just like in that one instance, they had something that really needed, I needed to reflect on and think about. And so I think it's kind of like that. It's just, yeah, I just go with intuition. I just kind of feel it out. And in my heart, is this somebody that vibes with me at the moment? And sometimes it's like somebody I need to vibe with because I need to learn something from them, or there's a lesson that I need to learn from them. So let's see, who are we missing here? We're missing a ninja guy, but I don't think there's enough dough for him. No. There's not enough dough for the, Okay, well, back to angels it is. We're getting smaller and smaller dough. Ooh, those cookies are starting to smell good. And what I like about this dough recipe, which, like I said, if you guys want me to give you the recipe, I'll put it in the comments after today's chat. But it's so light. Like the cookies feel like air. Like it feels like you're eating air, but gingery, like ginger air. So if you want something that's not too heavy or dense, and they do get crispy, they're not really meant to be like the moist, chewy kind. They are a bit crispy, but they're very light. So if you like light cookies, maybe you might like this recipe. But I like my treats, so I don't want any one individual treat to like weigh me down. Okay, I think we're down to the last roll with this dough. There's not much left, you guys. Let's see. Yeah, we got this much dough. That's not much. Um, let's see. Katie says, I don't doubt tarot at all and never have. Aw, thank you. It's just kind of how I've always done things. I mean, maybe later in life, not so much earlier. So much I would probably follow my logic and my ego brain before I would follow my intuition, but it never did take me to the places I wanted to go. So it took me a while to finally understand that my intuition like never lets me down, and that it wasn't just a thing that was all up in my head, and then I'm not crazy. Because there's that thing in society, right? It's like, oh, if you feel anything or think anything outside this like matrix box, outside the ego, then that's something to fear and be scary. But wouldn't a program tell you that so that you would never break free of the program? You know? um, so eventually I just started trusting myself, my intuition. And even though sometimes it was like scary at first, because it was like, oh my gosh, what if I, something bad happens, or what if nothing bad ever happened? And I was always safe. And it led me to this beautiful homestead here in the mountains. So I'm not looking back. I mean, I'll just keep trusting my intuition. It seems to be taking me to good places so far. Brought me to my twin flame. Like, what the heck, man? Is good. All right. I don't know if this is going to turn into anybody or if this is just going to be a round cookie. I don't know if this last little bit, I don't know. Maybe we can make an angel. Oh, we can. We can make one more angel, y'all. And the rest is going to be a little round cookie. Okay. All right. So it's 2, 4, 6, 7. We'll have 8 cookies for the next batch. What's the time? Ooh, we have 1 more minute. Lily says, exactly, Tara. When I doubt my intuition, I usually end up kicking myself, but now I go with the flow. Exactly. Susie says, Tara, you are multi-talented. Aw, thank you. But multitasking, I'm not so good at. I'm working on it though. Lily said, never against the grain. Grains. Not much grains in here. This is coconut flour. Okay, this is gonna make a teeny little round cookie. How about that? Aw, it's gonna be just a little cookie with little kitty cats on it. All right, let's put these cookie cutters in the sink. Put this in the sink. I didn't really use this, so I'll put this back. All right, and we have officially made a delicious mess. Let me think. Oh, yeah. I was gonna, okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna wash my hands now. So we're over here now. Okay. I was thinking of the whole camcorder thing, because hold on, let's get a little soap here. There's this video that we have in our home videos that my mom recorded. I think it was my mom. We came up to my grandparents for Christmas, and we were going to stay there for, I think, until New Year's. And that was a magical Christmas. But it was Christmas Eve, and my grandfather wanted to open some gifts because he's all about the kids. He wants to make the kids happy. So he's like, "Oh, come on! Oh, come on!" He says the kids want to open some gifts, you know. And by the way, they kind of talked a little old timey, but they're like, yeah, kids want to open some gifts. Let's open some gifts. And we're like, okay. And so my brother was just a baby at the time, so he was crawling all around. And um, I'm opening my gifts, throwing paper everywhere. My brother's throwing paper, everywhere, and trying to eat the paper. And my Uncle Danny's dog, whose name was Duke, thought that my brother was now his baby. Like he was going to take care of my brother. So it was so funny because my brother's crawling through all the wrapping paper, and Duke keeps like picking him up by his diaper, like in the back, like picking up his britches, and like keeps putting him in the middle. My brother keeps trying to like crawl away, and the dog keeps picking him up and putting him in the middle of the paper, because it's like he was like, no, you stay here so I can keep an eye on you because you're my baby. And so like my brother's like doot 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 doot, and Duke's just like dude, and it was just so funny. It was like, I don't know. But for a while, until my brother got older, like Duke was so protective of my brother. Like he really thought that was his baby. Like he was like sometimes like bring him in and then just not really sit on him, but like be down on him just a little bit, because it's like he wanted to hug him. So like the dog would be on top of my brother, and he was just like hugging him until like my brother would go to sleep, and then he'd get off my brother and like leave or whatever. But yeah, Duke was a good dog. My grandfather thought it was hilarious. And my grandfather had this huge laugh. You guys think that I laugh big and loud? That is nothing compared to my grandfather's laugh. His is like, ah ha ha. I don't know, it's like a big like belly laugh. And I used to call my grandfather Santa because I was like, "You're Santa Claus." My grandpa's like, "Why do you say that?" I'm like, "'Cause you got a big old belly." He's like, "I do have a big old belly." He's like, "But I don't think Santa has a beer belly." And I was like, "Oh." Let's see. Let's go back here to some of your comments. Caitlin says, "Tara, I felt I needed to pull 3 cards from the Dark Goddess for you, Baba Yaga with loss, Didi with revenge, and Persephone with compliance." Interesting. Edgar says, "I go with Bob Ross and enjoy the happy little accidents. Just reminded me to buy a gingerbread man mold for cake." Caitlin said, "Hecate with protection at the bottom of the deck." Interesting. Susan said, "Edgar, you made me think of the Bob Ross chia pet." Um, and Lily said, "Aurora, maybe it's Grandpa with a message." It might be, actually. So I'm going to have to sit on that. Let me pull out these cookies. Excuse me. Let me see how they're doing here. Oh, that one got a little cray-cray. But you guys are good. See, I tell you, they get a little fat. All right. They get a little puffy. I love me some chunky cookies. All right. All right. I let those cool down for just a little bit and I will put them on a plate and then we'll get these other cookies started. Sorry, I'm just getting a plate here. Don't mind me. Okay. All right. Dude. Yeah, I think I can get these off now without too much craziness. Oops. Okay, all right, cookies. Looking good. Anyway, let's see. Let me see if there's another. Oh, dude. I have the Christmas like story for you. It deals with my grandparents. Like, hold on. Get this little guy up. Oh no, he lost his head. He got too crazy. Psh, this is why we don't go to the club and stay too late. Okay. All right. So it's time to put our little friends in waiting onto this here cookie sheet thing. Okay. So let me tell you guys a story. This is my favorite story, I think. And I've told this story since I was in 6th grade when it actually happened. I remember coming back from winter break and the teacher is like, "Okay, kids, so like what did you do over winter break? You know, how was your Christmas? You know, all these things." And this would be what year is this? This is like 1992, so Christmas of 92 when I was in 6th grade. And we go up to my grandparents' house and my grandfather says it would be a great idea if we went sledding, if we went tobogganing. And on my grandparents' property, they didn't really have any snow. I mean, there was a dusting of snow, but if we go 7 miles, you know, up into the mountains, it's tons of snow, like lots and lots of deep snow. Okay, let me put these guys in. All right, mark the time. What is the time? It's 9:56. So at 10:06, we'll take out this last batch. Okay. So let me actually grab my cards while we're doing stuff. Okay. Oops. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Katia says, do you all pray about decision making to make choice? Sister had clots past week and it's looking to do cancer treatment elsewhere. Okay, well, we'll definitely send lots of prayers to your sister. I know that she was battling some stuff last time, so we'll continue to send our good juju, especially during our guided meditation, pumping all that energy towards her. So we'll do that too. Katie says the unicorn looks good. Aurora said coloring the cookies. I like to leave them plain. I mean, I know James likes to put like some of our decoration. I guess we could, but I don't know. I don't like too much sugar. I have a sweet tooth, but I don't like too much sugar. I like bitter and not that sweet, but I like sweets. I don't know. I'm a contradiction. It's try never to understand me. um, Susie says, sorry to hear Katie is sending her healing, definitely in good vibes. Lily says, I'm so tasting those cookies in spirit. I close my eyes and imagine how scrumptious they would taste. Dude, they're so light. Like they're this little kung fu guy. They're like so light and fluffy. And they're super gingery. So like they got a lot of spice in them. But I like it like that. Edgar says, did a 3-card spread for this month. 8 of Wands, the arrival of news and messages. Considering the holidays, I view this as visitors. 9 of Cups, wishes granted and satisfaction. Final card before the end of the year is 8 of Cups. Put things in order for a new start in a new year. Very cool. Susie said, call me Elf one more time. Came through my mind. Call me Elf one more time. Katie said, thank you, Susie. I'm just wondering how you handle making decisions. Susie says, I do pray sometimes to the cosmos and source. However, I usually go with my gut on big decisions. And Caitlin said, I pulled a clarifying card from Water Temple for you, Tara, and got Holy Wells of Ireland with alchemy. I harness my magic. Well, I know who that is then. That's my grandma. Oh my gosh. Well, because wherever my grandpa is, my grandma is. So that makes sense. So I'm trying to think about the other cards that you have pulled. Yeah, it makes sense. It's actually from both of them. So, aw, thank you, Caitlin. um, Edgar says, Lily, I'm smelling the cookies. Susie says, it is a knowing, I think. Caitlin said, bottom of the deck is blue tarot with preservation. I overcome all obstacles. Dude, that's my grandparents for sure. I thank you. Thank you. I love that. Susie said, I like grandma and grandpa. Yeah, dude, that was really nice. Thank you. Okay, so the story. I'm going to share with you this story, and then I promise we'll pull our cards for the weekly reading. But then, like I said, I want to pull some grandpa guidance for you guys. Okay, let me have some tea before I spill the tea. Okay, I'm getting flour on my butt, but you know what? We're in the kitchen. I don't. Who cares? Anyway, okay. So my grandpa has this idea. Let's take the kids sledding. We'll take them tobogganing up in the mountains. It's only like 7 miles away. It's a very short drive. And we're like, okay. And the truck they decide to take is my Uncle Danny's truck because it's the only one that has 4-wheel drive. We called my Uncle Danny's truck the Silver Bullet because it was a 1971 Ford pickup with rattle can silver paint all over it. It had the KC headlights. My uncle welded a roll bar into it. It had like the tailgate was all welded steel. Like he made it a new tailgate. It was lifted so high, had these massive tires. My grandmother loved to drive it because that's my grandma. Like she loves she loves taking the stick shift and just it had an 8-ball stick shift and then another like little pool ball for the 4-wheel drive. And so so we're driving up the mountain, and it's super snowy. There's tons and tons of deep snow. Edgar says, as long as you don't leave flower handprints on your butt, you're safe. Well, I mean, I could. The forest animals probably just laugh at me. They're already laughing at me. Lily says, I like listening about grandpa. Aw. So, okay. So we're going up this mountain. And before we go up, we pass a place called Seven Sisters. When I was a kid, I didn't know that the Seven Sisters was a name for the Pleiades. I thought it was about nuns. So I couldn't figure out why my grandparents wanted to go to a bar for nuns. Because they were always going to a bar. I mean, their favorite bar was Schooners. And they just, all they did was just drink Miller Lite. And then they came home and it was Miller Lite. But okay, so my grandparents had a bit of a habit. But anyway, so we passed the Seven Sisters. My grandpa's like, oh, should we stop off at the Seven Sisters? And I'm thinking, seven nuns? Why is it called Seven Nuns? You know, it's my 12-year-old brain, right? And my grandma's like, no, no, Tom, we don't have time for that. We got to get these kids up there before the snow starts melting. And he's like, oh, okay. So we're driving up and it's a little slippery. We notice people are coming down the mountain and people are warning us, hey, it gets real icy when you start heading up a little bit higher. My grandfather's like, oh, that's okay, we got it in 4-wheel drive. But we didn't have it in 4-wheel drive yet, so he was driving. My grandmother was in the passenger seat, and it's those old school like bench seats. So my brother was in the middle, and he's like 6 years old at the time, and me and my mother are in the back of the pickup, and we're freezing our asses off. So so I got like my scarf, and we're just back there like like in the back of the pickup, because it's freaking, it's small towns. They don't care if people are riding in the back of a pickup. I mean, in Arizona, there are no laws about not riding in the back of a pickup. So you still see it here, and it's like really weird. But anyway, so my mom and I are like, we're freezing in the back. It's snowing. It's like so cold up there in the mountain. And the truck's starting to slip a little bit because there's ice in the road. So the truck's kind of, and this is a skinny road, by the way, with a massive drop off cliff on one side and snowy trees and all that stuff on the other side. And so more people are coming down, but we're still going up. And my grandfather says, you know what? I just remembered at the top of the hill, um, there's a bar that I really like. And my grandma's like, oh, we don't have to take them all the way up there. Let's just pull off, and we'll do some sledding. But he's like, we need to get this thing in 4-wheel drive. So he's like, Sharon, get out and put this thing in 4-wheel, because it's an older vehicle. So you have to like do something on the wheels to put it into 4-wheel drive. And so my grandma's out there. I can hear her swearing because she's cold and her hands are cold, and she can't get the truck into 4-wheel drive because it's snowing and everything's frozen. So she gets inside. She's like, Tom, I couldn't get the GD things, done because they're frozen. My grandfather's like, yeah, what good are you then? And so they always squabbled like that. It was like a love squabble. I don't know. um, let's see. Edgar says, I was just thinking of the bar scene in Sister Act. And Caitlin said, the seven sisters of the Pleiades: Maya, Mother, the Messenger, God, Hermes, Electra, Tegeta, Seleno, Alcone, Asterpo, and Merope. Peg Shields says, lock them in the hub. And Kate says, maybe I should have gotten Star Temple instead of Water Temple. Hey, no worries. And so, okay, so we're sliding. And my grandfather's determined we're going to get to the top because he really wants the bar. And he thinks that there's a good like sledding area that's near the bar. And if we could just get to the top of the mountain. But while my mom and I are sitting in the back, we're noticing that the patches of ice are getting bigger and bigger. And they're starting to go across the whole road. And so my mom hits the window to the cab of the truck, and she's like, Dad, don't you think we should just pull over now? She says, like, we don't need to go to your stupid bar. She's like, let's just have the kids play here. And he's like, no, 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 we must do it. And so my grandmother's just like, oh. And so my mom, uh, she leans in and she's like, Mom, put Brian on your lap. Brian's my brother. She's like, put Brian on your lap. In case anything goes wrong, I want you to throw him out the window. And my grandmother's like, oh, your father. Like, She goes, "He wants his beer." And so we're going up this mountain, and now the truck is going like, we're losing our grip, and we're just like, and my mom's back there. My mom's like, she's like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit," and then my mom's like praying. She's like, Please, dear Heavenly Father, please don't kill my children." She's like, "Because my father wants his goddamn beer." She's like, and I'm just like, "Mama, are we gonna die?" And she's like, "No, honey, we're not gonna die, but your grandpa is a moron." It's like, "'Cause he wants his beer." And I was like, "Oh," and my mom's like, "So if we slip, I want you to jump out the side of this truck." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then she's like, "Okay." So at least she's like thinking the kids will be safe because my mother's gonna throw my son out the window, my daughter's gonna jump off the side, and yeah, and then everybody everybody that matters will be saved. And so then and then we make a big slip. And we kind of get our vehicle somewhat diagonal on the road. And so my mom and my grandmother are yelling at my grandfather at this point, and they're like, "Tom, turn the truck around. Like, you don't need to go to this bar. Just turn the truck around." And so he's like, "All right." My grandpa is like pretty stubborn. And so he goes to turn the truck around, and I remember we go forward, and the front wheels of the truck fell over the side of the cliff. And so now my grandpa is trying to put it in reverse, and all you can hear is and the back rear tires are just spinning, spinning, spinning. I'm back there. I'm like thinking, wow, this is where I die. I die over a cliff. Oh, today I die. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm like making peace with my 12-year-old self. I'm like, all right, well, this is how I die. I hope it's quick. And my mom is just like desperately saying her prayers. And my grandmother is like screaming at my grandfather the whole time. He's screaming at her to shut up. She's screaming at him that he's an idiot and and that he's going to be in charge of killing the whole freaking family. And so the wheels, because they're just slipping on ice. And so I'm just there, and it was like I was just watching everything. I'm just like in the back going, hmm, hmm. Like, do we die yet? Are we going over yet? Are we going to die yet? I don't know, weird things 12-year-olds think. And so at, I don't know, some point, one of the tires caught a patch of like non-icy road. And so the truck went boom and like pulled itself up from the edge of the cliff. But, we still had to make the whatever 1,000-point turn to get ourselves pointed down the other way. So we kind of like turned around again, and then we got one tire over the edge of the cliff again, because my grandfather couldn't make quite a tight enough turn. And then again, the wheels are spinning, and we're like kind of starting to like spin this time. But since there's only one wheel over the cliff, we're kind of like drifting towards the cliff as the rear tires are spinning in reverse. And but eventually the tire came up, and we made our gingerly started to make our way down the hill. But we went down just a little ways, and then we stopped, and my grandpa's like, "Hey, let's go sledding here." And we're like, "Okay." And so we all get out, and my brother and I had a great time tobogganing. We were sledding. We had so much fun. I was pulling my brother around on the sled. We made a snowman. We were rolling around in the snow, and that was basically our first time ever being like in snow. And I thought it was a fun time. There weren't any more snafus on the way back down the mountain, but we all got back in. We made our way back down. But I do remember we stopped at that Seven Sisters bar at the bottom of the mountain, and my grandparents both had a beer. Oh my gosh, it's a little baby bunny. Oh, hello. Hello, baby bunny. Dude, there's a baby bunny right outside the window. It's a little cottontail. Aw, eating all the treats that James left out for the birds and the animals. Oh, we're so cute. But yeah, so when my sixth grade teacher, Miss LaRue, was like, "So what did you guys do on your winter vacation?" I was like, "I got a story." And I remember I'm like telling the story, and my teacher looks visibly uncomfortable. She's like, "Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me take out these cookies." And she's like, So your grandfather was trying to get to a bar, you said? And I was like, yeah. Woohoo! Our final batch. All right, we could turn this off. Excellent. I love it. Maybe I'll put it here. Oh no, there's flour there. Okay. She's like, you say it's because he had to go to a bar, and then you're telling me that your grandparents went to a bar afterwards and drank and then drove you guys home? And I'm like, oh yeah, but it's like a small town. She's like, hmm. Can only imagine what my teacher was thinking, like, that family's nuts. um okay, so let's go back here to some of your comments. um let's see. Caitlin says, if I was your grandma, I'd beat him. Peter, hey, he says, how are you? uh okay, I won't read what I'm about to type. Let's see. Oh, Peter's talking about his channel, Ultra Hypnosis. Wow, relaxation videos, meditation. Excellent. Edgar's like, OMG, the trauma. Um, KDS says, Peter, hope you're well. I come here on Sundays. It's like church. Oh, the church of awesome homies. Um, Edgar says, I'd be jumping out at that point. Like, see ya. Nope, not today. uh, Peg's like, please tell me he got his Millers. Oh, they both did. They got their Miller Lite at the end of it. Peg said, cookies. 11:11. Love it. Edgar's like, OMG, I was thinking about the bunny, and then intrusive thoughts came in. Peg said, that was close. Kayla was like, that's hilarious. Caitlin says, oh, okay. Lily says, thank goodness CPS wasn't invented yet. Yeah, not quite. Well, no, I mean, it was sort of, but yeah, no. I mean, it was just like, that was like the late 80s, early 90s. Like, anything goes. If you survived your childhood, congratulations. Peg's like, I love stories. Okay, let's have a little bit more tea. I can't really taste the cookies yet because I don't eat until dinner time, but I'm sure they're going to be delicious. But let's go ahead and take these other ones off so you guys can see the pile of cookies that we all made together. Okay, let's do it. Do. The angels seem to hold better, a little bit better, probably just because they're got less little parts on them, I guess. Okay, our little round cookie came out great. Got our little candy cane. Excellent. Got the Yule tree. Got a little angel. All right, you guys. So that's 16 delicious gingerbread cookies. So light and crunchy, and will be definitely spicy. All right. Throw this piece of foil away. Yeah, so I mean, my grandparents were freaking awesome. I love my grandparents. When I was telling, oops, whoa, when I was telling James about my grandparents, and I was talking about my parents, and I was saying, that, well, you guys know, I had a difficult upbringing, in my home. It was difficult, we'll just say. And so I used to always get upset because I was like, it seems like everybody else got like a mother and father that really loved them. And I was like, I had always wanted like a mom and dad who just loved me for me. But then James was like, you did have a mom and dad who loved you for you. I was like, no, my mom and dad were not the best of parents and they didn't really want children. And so he was like, he says, yeah, but your grandmother and your grandfather were your parents. Like those were your real parents. Like it doesn't matter, he says, what society calls them. They call them your grandparents. But he's like, those were your real parents. Like they loved you, they cared for you, they were in charge of helping you, like basically wake up. They're in charge of my they just wanted me to grow. They loved me for me. They wanted me to, make mistakes. They weren't there to coddle me. They wanted me to mess up so that I would learn, because they wanted me to be independent. Like that was something that was huge with my grandmother. She says, "I don't want no prissy girl. I don't want no, prissy girl." She's like, "You're going to learn how to be a strong woman. You're Irish and a bunch of other stuff, but you're Irish too." She's like, "And you're going to learn to be a strong Irish woman." She says, "You don't need no man to, help you get a house." She says, "I just am so lucky that your grandfather is building me this one." But she says, "If I needed a house, I could get one on my own, just so you know." And she was like, "And you don't need no man to get you the things that you need in life." She says, "You're smart enough, you're strong enough." She says, "And you're a Ramey through and through." So so she's like, and she says, "You got that Irish blood in you." And she's like, "You do it yourself." And so, uh, yeah, they were both really good with that. Um, they tried to come and see anything that I was in, any singing thing that I had, any play that I was in. And it's interesting because when it came to my singing stuff, my grandparents well, my grandmother was passed away by this time, but my grandfather would go wherever he was in the country. He would drive all the way just to come see me do whatever opera thing or singing thing I was doing. Um, and it was like pulling teeth to just try to get my dad to come once. So I'm thinking about it and I'm like, those really were my parents. And so, I think that's just something to think about. Maybe those of you that didn't have the best of homes, maybe think about the people that were truly your parents. Sometimes they were family friends, sometimes they're aunts and uncles, sometimes they're grandparents. And sometimes maybe we meet our parents later in life. But yeah, it's all about the people that loved us, nurtured us, and were there for our growth. So I'm grateful to have the grandma and grandpa that I did for the time that they were here on earth. And I think that without them, I probably wouldn't be the me that you guys see here today. um, let's see, let's go back here. Um, Edgar says, "I was like, hope there aren't any hawks outside or it's goodbye bunny." Oh no, 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 no. This up here on the hill is a no kill zone. We get hawks. In fact, there was a bald eagle yesterday, but they're not eating my bunnies. Lily says, "I have a few stories with my dad taking us home with him and his Budweisers, and I survived." Wow. Katia says, "Why don't you eat until dinner time?" Because James and I just have our one meal a day. Otherwise, we're eating source the rest of the day. So that's something that we've been working on and trying. And so far, feel absolutely healthy. I haven't really lost any weight. I haven't really lost any muscle mass. So we're all good. I don't feel sick. My teeth are good. My eyes are good. So I'm assuming my functions are all functioning. Let's see. Kayla says, "I'd like to make the cookies. They look delicious." All right. So at the end of this chat, I will put the recipe in there for you. Edgar says, "My favorite Christmas story is the one the girl says about her father in Gremlins." I'm a bit psycho. Dude, you gotta watch Gremlins on Christmas. I don't know why it's a Christmas movie, but it is. Peg says, "Fasting. I could not bake cookies and not eat the dough or cookie from the first warm batch." I tell you what, the smell is intoxicating. I will say that, but I'm trying to eat the smell. I'm like, we're eating the smell right now. So Susie says, "Gotta run." All right. You have a great rest of your day. Have a fabulous week. Edgar says, okay, that does it. I'm getting the cookies from the kitchen. Ray wishing Susie a beautiful day. Uh, Katia says, love is blessing no matter where it comes from. Yes. Lily says, hace abuela, grandma. Yes. Katia says, didn't know you sang. Yeah, in fact, I was a professional opera singer. And just when I came out to Arizona, the opera houses were still closed. So I just never auditioned again. But I mean, I could still at some point if I wanted to, but I don't know. I sing for the animals now. Lily says, ah, I'm tearing up. My family was so messed up. I'm living vicariously through your stories. Ah. Aurora said, did you see Susie and I's video, Tara? Not yet. Not yet. This whole week until today, my internet has not been great. And maybe it's because it snowed a couple of times, but yeah, I need to go see that for sure. That is number one on the video watching list. Katie says, will you sing something for us today? I could actually, sure. Maybe I'll do it after our reading. Edgar says, I'm watching Silent Night, Deadly Night from the 80s. Katie said, what? Aurora's like, I'm terrible at singing. I'm too monotone. Nah. Lily says, Tara, you're like Disney Snow White singing to the animals. Come to me, little animal. Surround our home. Okay. All right. So let's pull some cards for the week. Let's pull some grandpa wisdom. Let's do a little singing, and then let's sling some cards for anybody who wants to do super chats and super stickers. I'd be super happy to do those for you. Katie says, I'm certain the life and energy around us is so appreciative of your singing gifts. Oh, well, thank you. Actually, you know, I do have a YouTube channel where I had posted some of my singing stuff, but it wasn't really a channel I maintained. So it's got like 6 videos on it or something. But I mean, you guys could go watch it if you wanted to. It's just under my full name. It's just Tara Egipto. So, I mean, you could find it on the interwebs, on the YouTubies. Lily, slinging cards, love it. Yes. Okay, so the week, what do we have coming up for us this week besides cookies? Lots of cookies. All right, I'm gonna put these here because it's a little too flowery here. Okay, put that there. There. And I'm actually called to pull one of the oracle cards. Oh, I didn't tell you what I'm using. This is the Augenblick Tarot. Augen. Which reminds me of a German song I used to sing for the German American Society. I was their little singer. Okay, so this is their little oracle deck. I think it's pretty cool. Lily's like, Tara, you some honey new? Hell yeah. Chulawana, man. Well, Chula Vista. We call it Chulawana. Well, you think you're from the 619 SA? You think you could come out here? You could come mess with Otai? That would be some of the people from my school. They'd be like, man, you don't want to mess with Otai, man. You know, you go down there, like sometimes you're going to wind up in the river. You know, see what I'm saying? Claire Murphy, free reading, Naked Fall. Peter. Sure, checking out Peter's video as well. The Ultra Hypnosis Power Nap. Okay, cool, cool. Everybody's saying hello to Clara. Lily is like, that's what's up, I chola. I got you. Sometimes my friends will call me weather, you know. And every once in a while, little flaquita, like wondering when I'm going to put some food on my body. Okay. All right, let's see what we have cooked up this week. We have the Hierophant. We have the Fool card. We have the Wheel. Caitlin got Mermaid's Love, Moon Dance, and Pure Nature. Ooh. And let's see, we got the Peeing Cherub. I love it. Okay, so let's put these all together. Hierophant, Fool, Wheel, which is 3 majors. Oh my goodness, for the week. And then we have our Peeing Cherub. So let's see what that's all about. Okay. Okay. All right. A little cheeky with the release with the Peeing Cherub. Okay, I get you. This is probably my grandpa helping out a little bit. He'd think that's hilarious. Anyway, so I know it's 3 major arcana cards, but what was coming up is it seems like a blast from the past this week. So whether it's a scenario that is similar to something that happened in the past that has yet to be fully healed and resolved. Sometimes when with the passage of time we feel like, oh, well, I've healed from it because I don't feel the now emotions, the extreme emotions I once did in that past situation. It feels a little less. So I feel, oh, okay, I must be healed from it. But we're going to see, with a situation that comes around again that's very similar, just to see, what parts of ourselves need to be healed yet or still need to be looked at, need to be released. Or maybe it comes around again just for you to see that, all right, well, this time around, I'm doing things differently. I'm not triggered this time, these types of things, because you are from a different place this time than you were in the past. But this offers you an opportunity to release some of those old traumas, old triggers, maybe some unresolved issues. It gives you that chance. So it comes, like I said, either in the form of a similar scenario, but also it could come in the form of the actual people in your life that haven't been in your life in quite some time. So let's say, for instance, you hadn't talked to a family member in a long time. Maybe there was some beef, some falling out, just didn't end on good terms. And now that family member coming back up again. And this is just a chance for you to try to do things differently, continue to heal yourself, send your best blessings to this person, whether you're mad at them or not. Let them go off on their healing journey. You can do your healing, but it's just offers you some guidance. Like, where do I have yet to be healed? Like, where do I still need a little bit of help? And seeing this person again or the situation again will help you to do that. So it's all meant for your best and highest good. Sometimes we don't want to see certain people again, but then we're like, well, you know what? I need it for my healing. Because if I still feel that way, then there's still a lot that still needs to be healed. All right. So interesting stuff for this week. Caitlin says, just reply with a red heart if you understand. Tiny Witch is here. Hello. And Aurora said, Flora. Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put these down and let's get some grandpa messages. So, what types of grandpa questions would you have? Like, what are some things you would want some divine masculine grandfatherly advice, which is more like my dad, but like grandfatherly advice. Like, what would you guys think? Lily's like, so I guess I should call my mom every so often. She's not bad anymore. Okay. Whatever feels right for you and your healing journey. What I've learned is even though some traumas were pretty deep, they cut pretty deep. Um, what has helped is actually being able to release them, forgive them, be grateful that they're in my life, even if it was horrendous, because there was a lot that I learned from it. and a lot that I could still learn from my past, my childhood, that I could learn in adulthood. I could see any patterns that are stemming from that childhood because of what happened. And I could see, oh, wow, I can change that now. So thank you, horrible parents from the past, for showing me I have the power to change it now, even though maybe I felt powerless as a child, that I couldn't do it then. But there's still a lot for me to be learned from that. And so by sending them that love and that healing, I'm not pumping more negativity into it, because that's what I don't want more of, you know? I won't want the healing part. So and genuinely I would want them to heal too. And instead of the whole like eye for an eye, you know, type thing, it's like, you know what? I deserve to heal. You guys deserve to heal. Don't really know what went on. I wasn't there in their childhood, but I was there for my childhood. So, you know, that I can work on. Um, let's see. Edgar says, if I made a Christmas tarot deck, would you, uh, what card would you assign Santa? The Emperor, I would say. He's, he seems to be like at the head of operations, right? With his little elves and his little toy making. I would say the Emperor. Aurora says, I still have my papa. Edgar says, this is why I'm so focused on bringing back Christmas to our house. It's been depression zone for too long. Time for healing. Nice. Katie says it has to be authentic to reach out. Yes, definitely. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. I know my grandpa's here. What guidance would you give everyone, all of my friends that are watching, all of my friends that will watch? What guidance would you give them? Whew. Okay. All right. I guess those are the cards. All right. And for this one, I'm using the Winter's Embrace Oracle from our friend V Love and Crystals. All right. We have essentials. Peg's like, drink Miller beer, probably. Embrace. That's funny. That is a drink, you know, maybe because there's no beer card in there. That's all he could do. Tiny Witch's Journey says, sorry, it's been forever. The banking nightmare continues. I think now I have it resolved, but I have to change my bank and my social. Oof. Well, luckily that's all getting fixed up. Lily says, yes, I forgave and let go, but maybe I haven't all the way since I avoid her. Uh, thanks, Tara, for this jewel. You're very, very welcome. Hey, you know, I'm working on it too. I'm working on it too. Um, Caitlin saying, wish you best, Flora. Okay, so essentials and embrace. Let's see what Grandpa's trying to say for us. Let's. Okay. All right. Okay, Grandpa. He's like, I was a simple man with simple pleasures. For me, it was my Miller Lite. As long as I had a nice cold beer at the end of the day, and as long as I could put my mind to work, I was working on something. It didn't have to be elaborate. I didn't have to be working on the house. I could be working on the car. I could be building a birdhouse, but I was always creating something. And he's saying to embrace the things that just make you happy. You know, so for him, he's like, as long as he had something to build or something to figure out. And for him, you know, his vice was his beer, but he's like, it's those little things. Like he says, I don't need fancy cars to make me happy. I don't need, you know, a big, beautiful neighborhood to make me happy. He says, it was just, I have my little plot of land. I'm working on a house, you know, and I'm drinking my beer, and that's fine. Um, and he's saying just to bring our focus back to ourself, you know, what's around us. He says, look at the people around you. And he says, I had my wife and I had my grandkids. I got the dogs. I'm happy, you know. He says the kids visit once in a while. That would be my aunt and uncles, my mom. And he says, I didn't need anything other than that. He says, you remember that my shirts had holes in them. They did, Grandpa. He had white undershirts that he wore all the time, and they had holes all over them. He's like, I didn't care. Well, he's like, what is this, a fashion contest? He says, what are the road runners gonna laugh at me? Um, but yeah, he says, I didn't need new pants. I didn't need a new shirt. If they really needed mending, your grandmother would fix it. He says, so I didn't need anything new to make me happy. I was happy as a clam just making something myself. And he's saying some people may feel that to make things, they have to go out and go buy a bunch of things. He says, but what can you make with just what's already around you? He says that's what requires the thinking, the going beyond the lateral thinking and think a little bit differently. Shift your thinking just a little bit. If you don't have any glue, what could be substituted as glue? How are you going to hold it together? Maybe you could use string. If you don't have string, maybe you can make some string. And he says it's about getting creative. It's about using your mind in different ways. He says you can use your ego mind, but you can also use your intuition to make some really wonderful things. He goes, maybe you just like having hot chocolate. We'll find a way to have your little hot chocolate, and it could be the best thing in the whole world. He's saying, but really look at the pleasures that are already around you. Maybe you have one best friend, and that's gold right there. There are some people that have no best friends. He says, but if you have at least one friend, or maybe you have at least one family member that you love, that you trust, that you can call, that you can hang out with, and just looking at what you already have, the clothes that are already on your back, the home that you already live in. You've brought all these things to you. He says that's more than a lot of people can say. And not to be from a poverty mindset, which he's not denying. He says we did come from some pretty hard times where all we had was one pair of clothes when I was growing up in the 40s. He says, but it just helped me to appreciate that the things that I want most in life can't be bought with money. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, even my beer. I would trade it all in just to have my wife, to have Tara, to have Brian, Christine, Shane, all the cousins. He says, look at what can't be bought with cash. Use your mind. Make something creative. All right. Thank you, Grandpa. Aw. He's a lot more eloquent on the other side. There would have been uh, a lot of laughter and more anecdotes, I think, if he was here physically. Um, Edgar says, I got 10 of swords. Things all come to an end, even darkness. Embrace the coming light. Embrace what brings joy to your life. Katie S. Worker says, I really like Grandpa. Aurora says, your grandpa reminds me of Onslow from Keeping Up Appearances. Great British comedy. I will have to check it out. James probably knows of that one. Peg said, me too. What a sweetie. Thank your grandpa. Yeah, I like him. He's and he was also like what I liked about his personality is he didn't care what anybody thought of him. He just like said things. And yes, sometimes the things he said were probably pretty dumb to a lot of people. But he didn't care. Like his was like you're going to make mistakes, kind of thing. You're going to say dumb things sometimes. And sometimes you're going to say things that are probably fairly smart. And he's like, but the thing is to just put it all out there. And whatever people think about you, he says, that's on them. That's not on me. Is always like, he says, like, because my mom would get embarrassed around my grandfather all the time. Like, why are you so loud? Why do you? Because he talks to complete strangers. Like, he just walks up to people and starts talking to them. He says, hey, did you vote in the last election? Like you just randomly come up to some stranger and you're going to ask them about how they voted in the last election. But he's like, I don't care. And he's like, because my mom was like, "You know, people think that you're a moron sometimes." She's like, "You know, people are thinking things about you." And he's like, "Yeah, who gives a shit?" My mom will be like, "Well, people are thinking things about you." And he says, "Yeah, and I don't give a shit." That was my grandpa. Like, literally, he would say that all the time. He's like, "Yeah, I don't give a shit." He said, "Who cares what the GDs they're thinking?" You know? He's like, "I don't care." Like, he says, "I have something to say, and I'll say it, and I love engaging in dialogue, like, I like conversation." And he says, "And if people think I'm dumb, I don't care. I'm still trying to learn something, so I'm learning something from them. If the whole time they think I'm an idiot, the whole time, I don't care, because all I'm focused on is the information I'm trying to gather." He says, "I really don't care what other people think about me." He says, "And why do you?" Like, his whole thing was never care what a single human being thinks about you. He says, "There's going to be people that think you're the smartest person in the world, and there's going to be people that think that you're the dumbest person in the world. And you know what?" He says, "Your friends are somewhere in the middle, as they should be." He says, "Your friends got to call you out when you're speaking pretty dumb, and your friends got to praise you when you're saying some pretty cool stuff." So he says, "Your friends should be in the middle of thinking you're brilliant and thinking you're a dumbass." So, but yeah, his was like, um, just, dress how you want to, speak how you want to, create the things you want to. Everything that you create isn't always going to be awesome, but you still got to create it anyway, because it's going to teach you how to maybe make something better that will be awesome, or inspire a different idea for something else, which would be way better than what you originally had planned. And he says, and then maybe people give feedback. Maybe people say some pretty awful things. And he says, just take it as feedback. Like, he says, "Do you think that they're just saying things because they feel like saying things and they just wanted to make your day horrible?" Like, that could be, in which case you would think about it, realize that, and just toss their comment to the side. And he says, other comments, maybe they're genuinely trying to give you some good feedback about what you're doing. And so, yeah, that was his whole thing, and I think that's why I love my grandpa so much, is because I always wanted to aspire to be that way, because, due to my home, and I guess just allowing certain things to happen, I had some pretty low self-esteem, and I had a lot of issue, and still to this day, a little bit issue of, like, not wanting to hurt anybody's feelings, always trying to, like, I guess, please people. I'm always afraid of conflict. Not so much now, that I'm like working on, but in the past, it was definitely a lot of people pleasing, a lot of worrying about what my parents think about me, worrying about what, all of this. And actually, as I looked up, there was 11 people here with 11 thumbs up. So I love the 1111. That's great. um, but you know, once my grandfather passed away, it, like, really hit me that it was, like, time to really start, um, integrating the things my grandparents had taught me, because if they indeed were the people that I loved most in my life, then the best way to honor them would be to actually integrate what they said. Maybe not everything, because, like my grandfather said, sometimes they do dumb things like take your children up an icy hill when you're trying to get to a bar and you almost kill them because you want to get to a bar. Yeah, he's like, sometimes you do some dumb things, but sometimes you do some really cool things, like build a house for his wife, so it all evens out, I think, somewhere. um, let's see, let's go back here. Kayla said that was so beautiful. Thank you, Grandpa. Lily says, "I'm crying, touched my heart." Aw. Yes, grateful grandpa. Hallmark moments. Caitlin says, "I think your grandpa directed me to pull again from Dark Goddess Oya with deliverance and Ezruli with prosperity." Amazing messages. And from the bottom of the deck, she got Mauve with determination. I love those messages. Thank you. Thank you. Tiny Witch's Journey said, "Thank you, Tara's grandpa. That's funny. He's awesome. We need more people like that, getting new pagan ways tarot, angels and ancestors, and past life oracle to see what may come up." Very cool. Cool decks. All right. Let's see. Um, hmm. Well, let's see. During the holiday season, I know that sometimes people come across family members that maybe they haven't talked to all year, that maybe you guys have a hard time with. Maybe some of you guys still have a hard time with mom or dad or both, or an uncle or a cousin or a best friend or a friend that used to be a friend. And let's see what grandpa has to say about that. Like, what do we do in situations where maybe everything isn't resolved, but we still have to face that person in the same room? Like, what do we do? Genuinely asking for a friend. um, Lily says, I'm curious what happened to grandma's house. Um, it's sold now. It got sold, I believe, a couple of years ago. Because my grandmother passed away in 96. And then when my grandpa passed away in 2013, yeah, 2013, um, then the house and everything, all of his properties and all of that went to my step grandmother because he did get remarried to my grandma Angie. And she's a real nice lady and everything, but she just didn't, she's older. She didn't know what to do with all these properties. She doesn't know how to maintain them. She just kind of wanted the hassle to go away. So she sold my grandma's house. She sold all the other properties, and she's just living her retired life at the moment. So, it's nice at least I got to have all those memories there. Um, oh yes, KDS, I will definitely give you guys a little song. Angela said, blessings and hugs, everyone. Blessings to who's ever grandpa this is for. May you have the greatest day with hugs, love, light, and hot chocolate manifest for all of us today. Amen. Amen. Um, and Angela asking Aurora how she is today. KDS said, my grandfather was sent on a ship by himself at age 9. Wow. Wow. That's an interesting journey for a little kid. Okay. So, Grandpa, some people have some unresolved things with certain family members that they may have to face during the holiday season. What is your advice? I feel like it's a couple card. Okay. Uh, I know what you're trying to do here, Grandpa, but sometimes they don't get your humor. um, the first thing that popped up was, and by the way, he was joking. He's not actually telling you to do this, but he was like, just grab a beer. It's like, okay, Grandpa, people cannot just like drink their way through family get togethers. Okay, that is not healing, that is bypassing. But yeah, he's joking. He's joking. Please don't drink through family issues. Okay. But he got essentials and energy. Okay. Oh, Peg's got to bounce right now. All right. So you have a great rest of your day, Peg, and have a beautiful week. Angela said, hugs to Aurora, the happy sea star. May her day be blessed and warm today. May magic always go in her favor and all good things come her way. Amen. And Katie has said, he regularly teaches me to look forward to what I'm going towards and not focus on what I'm leaving. Ah. Aurora says, I'm on the verge of crying. My heart is beating like crazy because I feel panic, thrilled, guilty, and remorseful all at once. Oh my goodness. Ground, ground, my friend. I know sometimes things get us all at once. So just take a moment to be still. Grab a nice grounding rock like petrified wood or something. Yeah, just calm. Let the emotions flow through. Don't deny your emotions, obviously, but just let them flow through. Let them flow into Mama Gaia. Then you can work on them one by one later. That's what I do when I get a little overwhelmed. Okay, so Grandpa, let's see. Okay, my grandfather's saying to feel it out. Yeah, feel it out. He's like, okay, his words, the man was a sailor, so he swears from time to time, but um I can't do a whole lot of swearing on my channel, Grandpa. um, but he's saying sometimes you just have to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. He says, here's the situation. You're in a room with somebody that you have issues with, and you have to make peace because it's the holidays. Not make peace and like you have to just forgive everything right now, but things have to remain civil because you're amongst other friends and family. Yes. Um, and the holiday is not about your shadow or their shadow or what beef you guys have with each other. The holiday is about just enjoying each other's company and understanding that you all have a piece in each other's lives. He says, "Okay, now you got that through your head." He's like, "So," he says, "either you could go about ignoring this person, which is gonna make things really awkward." He says, "And that actually takes way more energy to pretend that somebody isn't there that you have a problem with when you know for a fact that they are right there." So he doesn't suggest ignoring them either. He says, the bigger person, he says the bigger man, but the bigger person, um, goes up to them, says, "Hey, how you doing? Merry Christmas," or whatever you celebrate. Um, "I wanna have a good time here tonight. I hope you have a good time here tonight." That's it. You guys don't need to get into it. You don't need to rehash everything from the past because now is probably not the time. He says, and if they feel like talking more, like maybe they do want to talk about it, he says, then you got to get yourself really grounded. So probably don't need the alcohol. Get yourself nice and grounded and be like, okay, let's talk about this, but only if you can look at it from a higher perspective. If you're still feeling all of the emotions, all of the anger, all of the hurt, all of the sadness, all of the things, then maybe now is not the time to work on it because you haven't removed yourself from the situation yet from that higher perspective. If this person feels like they want to talk about it and you can feel the intensity of their emotions because obviously they haven't healed from it or they're still going through some things, then you say, you know what? Let's table this for another time and let's just enjoy the holidays. Let's enjoy this great food. We got great music. We got some crazy people here that'll give us a good laugh. Let's talk about this another time. And he says, and maybe I'm old school. Maybe this is from my upbringing, but that's how adults did things back in the day. He says, I'm not saying that we were perfect. It's just we didn't want the spotlight on ourselves when it should be more of a group thing, such as, i.e., the holidays. And then he says, after that, if you want to grab yourselves a Miller, go ahead. All righty. My goodness, Grandpa. Crazy. I love him. Um, Angela says, healing, calming, anxiety, relieving hugs. Lily says, let out a scream and a pillow. It helps me. Angela says, anxiety is energy that isn't sure where to go. That's why my Oma Vonda would always say, ground it by planting your feet or breathe into the wind so you can blow it away. Lily said, being cordial. Katie has said, so out of the ego. Yes. Aurora said, Lily, Angela, thank you, but it's not anxiety. There's someone here that I wronged, and I just want things to be like it used to be between us. We were more than friends. He was like my brother. I see. Katie says, anxiety is all about wanting things to be a certain way. Well, definitely, like I said, we got a lot of holidays, different holidays coming up with different cultures, towards the end of the year. So I think that our guided meditation that we'll do at the very end of our chat today, I think we'll have it focus on keeping ourselves grounded and allowing our emotions to flow through us, not denying our emotions, but to allowing them to flow through in a manner that doesn't have us, so confused with so many emotions all at once. Like getting too many feels at once can be very overwhelming. So I think we'll do a guided meditation on that, just helping us with that. Um, okay, so let's have a little bit more tea. Let's see. Let's sing you guys a little song. What do I want to sing? Oh my gosh. I'm like, uh, I don't know why I thought of The Little Mermaid. But hey, that's musical theater. I mean, it's not opera, but it's musical theater. Do you guys want The Little Mermaid? You know, in her infamous song, um, part of your world. I could do that. That used to be my favorite song. I've been singing it since I was like 10. um, Angela said, wishing healing for the situation and blessings to maybe send a small gift to make them smile and a gift yourself with something to holidays or a great time of kindness. One act of kindness can open doors for you. Amen. Sorry, my poem got all split up. I'm practically talking in rhymes this morning. I sound like Zecora from My Little Pony. Aw. Angela said, OMG, yes, yes. Lily said, Aurora, give it time. I'm sure they are listening. Spirit will speak to them and they will feel and know your sincerity. Forgive yourself as well as mamas. Much love. Aww. Kayla said, yes, The Little Mermaid. Angela said, part of your world and poor unfortunate souls just popped up. Poor unfortunate souls. All right, let's do The Little Mermaid. Okay. Oh, I guess I don't need my apron anymore. We are not baking anymore. Okay. Put that off to the side. Okay, okay. Do I remember the words? It's been a long time since I sang The Little Mermaid. Give me a second. Oh, or just tops. Oh, okay, got it. Lily said, yes, Little Mermaid. Angela's like, no, you need seashells. I do. Just little. Tiny Witch's Journey said, I love your voice. Oh, thank you. Aurora said, Lily, he's here now. I've been trying to apologize, but I don't know if he's forgiven me. Katia says, can't control another. Angela, the reprise might be more appropriate for what we're talking about. Possibly, yes. Okay. And Caitlin, at the same time, I am trying to send you good juju. And for our friend KDS worker sister. Okay. 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 Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders could one cavern hold? Looking around, you would think, sure, she's got everything. I got gadgets and gazmos aplenty. I got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I want to be where the people are. I wanna see them dancing, walking around on those, what's that word again? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, walking around on a, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I say if I could lay warm on the sand? But back on land, they understand that they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand. I'm ready to know what the people know. Asking my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it, what's the word, burn? When's it my turn? Wouldn't I love to explore that shore up above? Out of the sea, wish I could be part of that world. Yay! There you go. Sorry, my voice is like a little tired this morning. That is a cold, dead voice right now. um, let's see, let's go back here. Angela says lyrics are I don't know when, I don't know things started right now. Now watch, you'll see somebody, it'll be part of your world. Ah, Aurora said, thank you. Lily said, Aurora, give it time, some space, but keep letting them know you love and miss them. Katie's work is like, OMG. Aurora said, well done. Lily says, this has been in my head all week. Um, oh yeah, what would I pay? I don't know. I messed up some of the lyrics. It's been a long time since I sang The Little Mermaid. Sorry. Lily's doing a lot of clapping. Bravo. Angela said, yay, yay, your voice is so adorable. Oh, thank you. Kayla has made me cry. Oh, Lily, thank you, thank you. Would you like me to pull a card for you? I'd be more than happy. But thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm like, I I forgot some of the words. Voice was a little cold, but I gave it the old college try. Um, Angela says, I like the moment from Little Mermaid 2 as well. Aw. Okay, Lily, let's pull you a card. Message for Lily. And by the way, if anybody else wants to, let's say, do super chat, super stickers for a card pull right now, I'd be more than happy. Or maybe you'd just like me to sing you a song. I could sing you a song while we get my voice warmed up. Okay. I think all that I remember now are opera songs. I don't quite remember my musical theater much anymore. Okay, Lily. We have Delicate. Katie says, gorgeous voice, amazing. Angela, that's the song title, by the way. It's either called The Moment or Just a Moment. And Witch's Journey says, I got 7 of Pentacles, great teacher and orphan. We may be shifting family circle, working on deepening them. Know you are loved and will not be left in the cold. Approach things differently. Lily's cracking up over there. Angela's like, you should sing the tarot readings. Oh, and sing songy like was Cinderella. Kayla says, I'm going to PayPal. My YouTube isn't working. All right, no worries. Katie says, your voice is gorgeous. Thank you. And thank you, Witch's Journey. Okay, so Lily, we have Delicate. Let's dive into this one. Okay, this partially might be my grandpa coming back in, so maybe he's helping me out with the reading. But he was talking about delicate emotions. And there are some things that come up, especially around the holidays, or at least towards the end of the year when we start reflecting, thinking on people from our past, situations from the past. And a lot of those places within us are delicate places because we know that when we think on them, um, we start to feel the feels again. It's like we're placed right back in the past, right back in that situation. Um, and he's saying to understand that although those pieces of us are delicate, it doesn't mean that we should ignore them. Delicacy doesn't mean ignoring, it just means being kind to yourself and comforting, loving of yourself while going in and healing things, while looking at the past, hopefully from a higher perspective. And understanding that, yeah, sometimes even if something happened 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it could still make us cry today because we still feel it. We still feel that it's unresolved or that a part of it has stuck with us. And he's saying that's okay. If emotions come out, everybody cries, everybody gets angry, everybody's got to scream into a pillow at some point in their life. Um, but it's just the not avoiding. Yes, things are going to come up. You can feel them, but no, you still got to work on it. And he's saying that's something that he feels like we get to do uniquely here on Earth, which is a little bit different outside of Earth. The way he says we remember our past, the way we feel emotions from our past is very uniquely human. And that's something to be grateful for. Even if that past was difficult, it's still something that we get to work through in our own unique human way that no other species can claim. Aw, thank you, Grandpa. Thank you. um, and then Aurora got a reading for Peter, so we'll pull a card for him as well. Angela's like, since I'm rhyming today, I'll sing poems. Okay. Delicate things need to be taken care of what that doesn't mean. They should be stuck inside what life, it has to be trapped in a box. What life is it there to stare from inside? Emotions are heavy, they weigh you down. Tight, slowly, let them go. Step out of the box, everything will be all right. It might not be today or tomorrow, but it will be someday. And you'll look back and it'll be all from the rainbow. I don't know, that was like, made no sense in my tone, but the poem made sense. And the poem was beautiful. Sorry if I butchered it with song. I'm saying I made no sense. And just said, oh, on the hill. On the hill. Katie says, I loved your singing everything that Grandpa shared. Hugs. Lily said, thank you, Tara and Grandpa. Kayla said, message for December. All right. So we have our friend Peter first, and then we have our friend Kayla, and then KDS Worker. Okay. So let's get a message for our friend Peter. Angela says, oh, geez, sling, not sing. Oh, but that was so cool. I've never heard my words sung before. That made my day. Oh, yay. Okay, Peter. Ooh, Peter, we got energy. Feel the energy. All right, Peter, let's dive in. Boundaries is what's coming through. Protection of energy. They're showing somebody standing on one side of the boundary and then you standing on the other side of the boundary. But this being your boundary. But the boundary seems like if it were a fence, like it's only ankle high. And I see this person like stepping over the fence to say something to you and then stepping back. And what they say, and this could all be like symbolic of people crossing your boundaries, saying things that oftentimes could hurt us or not make us feel good inside, the things that they've said. But it's an understanding that on a subconscious level, we allowed that person to cross our boundary for a reason. And so let's say they crossed our boundary. They said something. We don't feel good about it. But now we have an opportunity to see where that's really coming from. Is it because of what they said? Or did what they say bring up something that we might actually believe that's been programmed into us? Doesn't mean that the belief is true. It just means someone along the way would say these things to you to the point where you believe them subconsciously, but maybe not consciously. And so this is an opportunity to be like, wait a minute, what this person said was hurtful, but this reminds me of something someone once said in my past, which means I can go back. If I can pinpoint this, then I can go back, I can heal it, I can release it so that next time I'm confronted with somebody on one side of my boundary, I'm on the other side of the boundary, and maybe I allow them to come across my boundary once again. They come across, they say something, but this time it's not hurtful because you know what they're saying isn't true. So it's kind of like their words bounce off me and stick to you, kind of thing. It doesn't affect me anymore. It doesn't hurt me anymore. The person not getting the reaction that they wanted eh, they leave. All of a sudden, they're not part of your reality anymore. But also understanding that our boundaries, we can learn things from them as well. Times when we allow people to cross our boundaries and times when maybe we were a little too rigid with our boundaries. There's always something to learn. And so it feels like at this moment that there is a lesson to be learned in boundaries and in things that people say, and understanding that what they say obviously may not be true, but it's definitely something that we can go into our past and release. So anytime this comes up again, it doesn't affect us anymore. And that's where the true healing's at. Instead of with the person, it's usually with the past because the present is usually a reflection of the past sometimes. All right. Thank you, Caitlin, for getting this for Peter. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Let's go back here. Um, Acadia says, don't want a reading, just sent for your wonderful hosting. Well, thank you. Thank you. Caitlin says, I know who that other person is. Angela said, energy is everywhere. The vibration of the words you say, of the world beneath your feet, the light above your head, the animals is in the woods, and so much more. You make little vibrations every day. Take control of the vibrations you make and watch the change as it moves out like ocean water to touch others' day. Agree. Angela said, like I said last time, break the puppet strings. All right, so let's get to our friend Kayla. Hold on. I saw Kayla in here. Oh, a message for December. All right. So let's get our friend Kayla next. And then Layla says, Harry, do you have an herb mixture for pain and for energy? My human body is breaking little by little, and something I get drained mentally, pushing through all the pain and feeling good. My intuition is. Okay. Telling me herbs aren't just for the woo-woo stuff. Heal yourself. Yeah. Um, let's see. If I think like stitching and mending together, I would definitely use calendula, first of all. For me, that's like solar plexus, confidence, power, a revitalizer. I would probably crush up a few juniper berries to put into that. Um, what other herb is coming to me? Stinging nettle. Calendula, stinging nettle for inflammation, because stinging nettle actually is an anti-inflammatory. um, yeah, juniper berries. I want one more. Show me one more. Peppermint. Okay. And peppermint's also good for anti-inflammatory. So peppermint, stinging nettle, calendula, and juniper berries. Like 5 juniper berries if you're going to make like a mug of tea. Yeah, I would say mash those up in a little mortar and pestle. Put them in a pot of boiling water, strain them out, put them in a mug. I would say enjoy, maybe once a day, or at least for a little while, I would say. Um, okay, so let's get our friend Kayla. Alrighty. So Kayla, let's see, a message about December. Ooh, as we're here on the 3rd of December. December. Oh, what will be in December? Okay. Ooh, I like it. All right, Kayla, we have fearless for December. Okay. Oh, I love it. Okay. So Kayla, for December, there's going to be many opportunities for you to get out of your comfort zone. So, this could be, like, let's say you're not comfortable, like, right away talking to strangers, but you'll have an opportunity to do so. Or maybe public speaking isn't your thing, but you might have an opportunity to do so. Maybe going on roller coasters is not your jam, but you have an opportunity to do so. And the reason being, not so you could do all these things that are scary just because they're scary to you. And I say to you because we all have things that we're scared of, but it's not always the same things. Um, is so that you can push past the ego, because really it's the ego that's scared. The ego says, "Oh, I don't like roller coasters because I could fall." Well, we do kind of fall in a roller coaster, but we're safe. Or the ego says, "Oh, I don't like speaking in front of lots of people because I hyperventilate and I get, and I'm just going to fall apart." But that's the ego. The ego is trying to tell you that's what's going to happen so that it happens, so the ego can remind you next time, "Oh, see, this is why we don't do that thing." Um, but the higher self is saying, "I want you to try things that your ego says are scary, um, because then you're stepping into versions of yourself that you haven't seen before." Because right now, we're only told by our ego what and who we are. Our ego says, "You are this, and you like this food, and this is your best friend, and this is, and we just kind of go off of that. But if we go into situations where we say, "Oh, I'm not comfortable," that means that's outside the ego. And the ego's like, "No, no, no, don't do that because you've never done that before. No, 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 no." And the higher self says, "But that's exactly where you grow." So that maybe you do get on that roller coaster, and instead of looking at it like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to die and I'm going to fall," it's like, you know what? I'm gonna have a good time, and I'm gonna feel sensations that feel really odd to my body. But you know what? It's all in good fun, and I'm perfectly safe. Maybe you do scream your head off, but afterwards, the result might be a little bit better. Instead of getting off of it going, "Oh my God, land, I have made it. I didn't die." Instead, you get up going, "Whoa, oh my gosh, my heart's beating so fast. I feel so shaky right now, but that was so cool." And then you see a different you that you haven't seen before. And that's exactly where we really start to see the real us, where the real us isn't afraid to speak in front of people. The real us isn't afraid to go up and talk to strangers because we realize that they're just reflections of us. We know that unless we choose to die on a roller coaster, we're not going to die on a roller coaster, that we are manifesting our own reality. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And let me know, what are some of those scary things you do end up doing this month, but more just uncomfortable, just it's not your typical behavior. So I would say try to act outside your typical behavior because it's the typical behavior of the ego, but not the higher self. The higher self is pretty badass because I do see your guys' higher selves. Since I can't really see you guys, I see your energy. And and you do have more of an animal type energy, but your energy is still badass. So that's probably why Eco likes you guys so much. You guys are both animal energies together. Um, Let's see. Caitlin has a question. Will me and Peter repair our friendship? Let's go ahead and pull a card. Um, Angela says holidays are time for fun, a time to do different things and be with everyone, time to sing on the street, and it could not be a weird time to buy fun gifts to hold the memories and bring them back in later. Lily Calendula, 5 juniper berries, stinging nettle, and peppermint. Got it. Yes. Of course, I have all of those in my apothecary. I have a ton of rotator cuff, bad knees, carpal tunnel in both hands, lower back pain. Those are, for the most part, all anti inflammatories. And juniper is really good at stitching things together. So I think it will help a lot. And just said, years and time to bring your inner child out for the day, have winter fun, try new things, take new roads. It will be amazing to you. Might come away with new friends and new things you love too. Katie says, I don't know if Peter, but his energy is palpably present. I'm going to pat for a sticker for a reading for Peter's higher self if it is open. All right, that is so nice of you. We'll definitely pull a card for his higher self. Angela said, ouchie healing vibes to Lily today, and may all the injuries and ouchies heal and fade away. Amen. All right. Okay. So me and Peter repair our friendship. Okay. All right, Caitlin. Okay. Okay, we have incomparable, this beautiful, unique little snowflake here. Kayla said, thank you. You're very welcome. All right. So, Caitlin, I do feel like you guys will become friends again. Will it be the exact same friendship that you guys once had? I don't believe so. But like we said, things are ever changing. We're growing. Our points of view are shifting. Our beliefs. We recognize certain things about ourselves, just as we recognize those things in others, which we can also see in ourselves. Um, and it feels like he sees you in a different light, but he's also seeing himself in a different light. And from this experience, you guys have a chance to grow, um, and understand that sometimes we mess up, just like my grandpa said. Sometimes we mess up, but that's the point of things. We're meant to mess up so that either we don't make the same mistakes again, or we grow from them, which makes us even better people for you and your friend Peter. But when you guys come together as friends again, it's different in a better way, because there were possibly things that you couldn't see in each other when things were just copacetic, when things were great. But now having this conflict or this issue is causing growth. It's causing each of you to reevaluate self, reevaluate relationship, friendship, and what that means, not just for you two, but for all of your friendships and relationships that you have. So I do see you guys coming together as friends again in the future. It will be a changed relationship, but a relationship of growth for the better, meaning for both of your souls. All right. Angela said siblings fight others due to sometimes what's broken can't be fixed. It's true, but it will. But if you try and give time a chance to work, time will do its magic and dance, and maybe give a door to you to have what you wanted or needed back come to you. Aw. Kaylin says, we were drawn to each other like magnets. We were total opposites, but we had so much in common. Exactly. Like because you guys have a connection, I don't feel that you guys are going to be separated forever, like not friends forever. I do feel like you guys will come back, but it's just that the relationship will change, the energy of it will change, because you guys will have grown, and that's a good thing. It kept coming across as a very good thing. Okay. And then our friend KDS had pulled a card for, or wanted a card for our friend Peter's higher self, if it's open. Okay. Thank you again, KDS. You guys are all amazing, always being so kind, helping each other out. You guys really are the sweetest people in the world. I don't care what anybody else says. You guys are awesome. And like my grandpa said, it doesn't matter what anybody else says anyway. Just matters what's in your heart. How do you see yourself? How do you believe yourself to be? Okay, Peter, let's see. Higher self, higher self. You know what his higher self looks like to me, and it's all perspective. He may look different to somebody else who reads energy, but he looks like Pan. Pan, in Greek mythology, kind of like the forest nymph off playing his flute, having fun, those kinds of things. It's an interesting higher self. Okay. But he has synchronicities. Marissa, thank you, everyone. Angela said, group hugs, Tara, and the whole chat. Angela, or Caitlin's going to be pulling one too. Angela says, you are all beautiful, sweet souls, sending you all love, love, love. All right. So this is Peter's higher self, synchronicities. Okay. For Peter right now, he might be noticing that there's a lot of very similar things happening at this time. So, not just, um, let's say, a strain on your guys' friendship at the moment. Um, but when it comes to relationships in general, it seems like he's having that same energy happen. So, whether it's between like his relationship with higher self and his ego, or relationship between him and animals, him and other friends, him and family members, that there seems to be a little bit of this tension at the moment. And it's having to do with how he sees himself in the mirror. Because sometimes when we look into the mirror, all we can really see is our outer shell, this little earth suit that we're wearing. We can see the color of our hair, the color of our eyes, our skin color. We look at how we dress, and we decide that that person that's staring back at us is us. But because of Peter's willingness to learn through relationships, that's what his higher self is trying to do. He's trying to understand himself and grow as a person through the relationships that he has, both positive and negative, whether they're having conflict or not. He's learning through them at the moment. And although, yes, a lot of us do that, we grow through each other. This is more prominent in his life right now. Like, this is one of his big lessons right now, is to be able to see himself differently through the eyes of those that he has close friendships with or familial relationships. And so he's being offered a chance to see himself from those different perspectives, what feels right and what doesn't feel right anymore. Like, let's say everybody believes him to be the funny guy, and he's, let's say he's the jokester. But at some point, let's say he gets real serious, he wants to have a deep conversation with somebody. Those people might get uncomfortable because they expect a certain personality from him. Like, oh, you're the jokester. You're supposed to be making jokes, not supposed to be having deep conversations. And that might hurt somebody's feelings. It might be like, whoa, whoa, I was trying to open my heart to you, and you're telling me I should be behaving a different way. But it's only because that's what they've become accustomed to. And that really tends to shake people up, because when people start acting differently in their lives, then we start asking ourselves, wait, if I didn't, if whoa, this is like a completely different person now, or they're acting way out of character. What does this say about me then? And then people don't really want to look at themselves sometimes, so they'd rather have the person stay the same than change themselves to go along with the change that they see in their friends. And so that's what Peter's kind of coming across at the moment, with all these different relationships of all kinds, like I said, with self, with others, with animals. And this is all so that he can grow and break out of the mold of who he's been taught that he is. And he doesn't have to be that anymore. He can embrace the aspects that really help him, but he doesn't have to be everything that he's been told he was since he was very young. So this is wonderful. This is a time of growth. I like it. Um, let's see. Let's go back here. Aurora said, the holy wells of Ireland came out again. Alchemy, I harness my magic. Lily said, received, hugging back. Angela said, synchronicities, music, and dance of the god of wildness, leading the way down a road less traveled, but traveled before to lead him where he needs to go. Energy is occupied by the walk to see where it will go. Angela said, he's being walked home, not led astray, and eventually he will be okay. He needs time for the dance to change its steps and learn to follow. His feet will be eventually returned with new perspective, with stories and old friends to greet. Caitlin says, I'm feeling a lot better now. He's breaking the strings. Lily said, right now I'm smelling dirt like a rainy day, a sweet smell. Aw, lovely, like cleansing, washing, purifying. Katie says he's discovering authentic self. Tiny Witch says, I did almost say in my card pull, try new things to expand on, try to see the bigger picture of what's happening in the room. What are others thinking about or feeling? Changes are uncomfortable. And Angela said, ooh, Mama Gaia's perfume, Lily. Katie said, love you, Aurora. I appreciate all you do to bring light to us. Aw, you guys are all amazeballs. Okay. I believe I got everybody. If there's anybody else that would like a card pull, I'd be more than happy to. Um, I'm trying to think. Hold on. Because we do have to go into our guided meditation, but maybe one more thing before then. See what it's like when you try to think of a song and no songs come off the top of your head. Like all of a sudden you can't remember the lyrics to any song. This is very confusing for a singer. Angela hugs you all. Thanks, Lily. We're just your warm, goofy marshmallows for this hot cocoa day. Love all the little emojis from Kayla. That's right. My homies that are part of the my YouTube members, they get to have special little emojis there. Aurora says, I think it might be able to have Walmart make another blanket. Now I'm determined to finish my project. Nice. I would love to see this project all finished as well. Angela said, when your brain needs a second to catch the cosmic cell. I know, right? Like my brain gets so in the ethers when I'm like hanging out with you guys and doing readings that when it comes time to like come back to earth and like think of a song, I'm like, you know? Okay. I'm trying to think more musical theater because I don't really want to sing opera right now because my voice is a little too cold for opera. You have to have it like really warm to like belt out the notes, you know? Um, hmm. Hmm. Uh, I think I only remember the beginning of Le mot à toi, roseau rebelle. It's the habanera from Carmen. I think I just remember the beginning of it, but maybe I'll just sing the beginning of it. Maybe I'll just do that. Caitlin said, I uploaded the first blanket on my channel. I'm going to go check it out for sure. Angela said, I want to see a fluffy blanket project. Will you put it on your YouTube, Caitlin? I guess she does have it on there. Um, Angela's like, say my name from Beetlejuice. Lily says, okay, I need to make my son some hot cocoa. I told him, make it yourself. He did, and he just and said the cover exploded and spilled it twice. It happened. Now I feel bad. Oh no. Tiny Wish says, I do have to jet, but want to thank you all. Looking forward for the guided meditation later. Oh, Lily said this happened yesterday. Caitlin said maybe Easy Street from Annie. Oh, like I said, all the lyrics are leaving me. Okay. Well, thank you for everybody who got to hang out with us today. I will do a part of a little song and then we'll do our guided meditation. Okay. Let's see if I remember the lyric. Okay, how does the rest of that one go? I have the song playing in my head at the moment. That's what I'm doing. I'm Music is playing in my ears at the moment. Um, okay, okay. Just the beginning in. Let's see. Angela said, I have to go. I'm hungry. See you when I get back if you're still here. All right. Lily loves Annie. Kayla said, me too. Tim Curry is a legend. Music is always playing in my head. Yeah, I mean, it's always playing in my head. So I'm like, got to get the station right. Okay. Just the beginning, like 2 lines, and then we're outie. Then we're going to do a guided meditation. um, Lily says, wasn't Yul Brenner the original guy? Okay, okay. Amore toi, beg ne peut apprivoiser. Et c'est bien encore rappelé, c'est l'inambiant apprivoisé. L'amour, 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 l'amour est enfant de bohème. Et non, jamais, jamais je ne te lois. Si tu n'aimais pas pour je t'aimais, si je t'aimais par toi. Si tu n'aimais pas, si tu n'aimais pas, je t'aime. Mais si je t'aimais, si je t'aimais, prends garde à toi. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Little bit of Carmen. I love me some Carmen. Let's see. Aurora says Tim Curry played a rooster, Miss Hannigan's brother. Katie said, OMG. Kaylin says, have you ever thought of going back to opera? I have, but I don't know. Depends on if there's an opera house that's close to here because it's a far way to travel. um, Katie says, any Italian all? Actually, that's what I sing mostly in. I mostly just sing Italian. Very rarely do I ever sing in English. And I only know a couple of French songs. And mostly it's all from Carmen. So actually, it's all of Carmen's arias. But no, I think there's one other French song. But yeah, they're mostly Italian. There's a few German songs that are in there. Um, uh, yeah, but yeah, I like Carmen. That was like my first opera arias that I ever learned. Tiny Witch says, "Wow, never heard you sing opera. Thank you. I try to keep it low. You know, like don't want to disturb the forest." Leah says, "That was incredible, freaking amazing." Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right then. Let's do a guided meditation then. I don't. Let's see. Where would we point the camera? Hmm. Let's point the camera at the cookies. um, or our fireplace, I guess. We could do that. But maybe we'll just do this. We'll point it at the cookies. Katie says, you have brightened my spirit with your voice. Well, thank you, thank you. And now we have a little meditation with these here cookies. There we go. There we go. Our our creation. All right. So hold on. Let me bring a candle over. Here we go. This is my little holiday candle. So we'll put that there. We'll make it look a little festive, I guess. There we go. All right, so we'll do a little bit of our Palo Santo, kind of clear the area. Get that little Palo Santo going. And like I said, I want to focus on one where it's a grounding guided meditation, helping us to allow difficult emotions, since they usually come up in groups of many different types of emotions, to allow them to flow through us so that we're better able to work with each individual emotion instead of having them all come at us at once. But we got to get ourselves nice and grounded for that. So that's what I want to focus this guided meditation on. All right. Burn, baby, burn. I love it. Okay. All righty. It's like we have the cookies out for Santa. Lily says, I think I'm going to watch the original Annie later for sure. Caitlin says, it relaxes me seeing the unicorn. And Aurora says, yeah, Lily seeing Tim Curry, Carol Burnett, and Bernadette singing Easy Street is iconic. Yes. All right. Yep. We got our little unicorn back there. All right. So you guys go ahead and get into a nice, comfortable space. You could be lying down, you could be sitting up, maybe you're sitting in a chair, maybe you're on the couch or outside under a tree, but any place that's comfortable for you. Make sure that you are free of distraction. You need just about 5 to 10 minutes to yourself right now. As we know that when it comes to healing and self care, we have to treat ourselves first so that we have the energy, the perspective, and the love to share with all of the people that surround us, all of the animals, all of the trees and the plants. We are connected to them. And so we do them a service by working on ourselves first. Go ahead and bring your breath, your attention to your breath, feeling the rise and fall of your chest, in and out. And I want you to imagine lying in the middle of a beautiful open field. If you feel called to, go ahead and close your eyes. Try to imagine this field. Utilize each and every one of your senses, including your intuition. Are you in a field of flowers, grass? What are the colors? What aromatic smells do you sense? Are there trees? Can you hear the birds? The wind on your skin? Is the sun shining? Can you feel its warmth through your clothes and upon your flesh? Continue breathing. If you wish, go ahead and take your right hand and place it over your heart space. And take your left hand and place it over your belly. And in this moment, you are embracing yourself. You are embracing your courage, your groundedness, as well as your beautiful heart. A place where all intuition, messages for our highest good live, our happiest memories, the places where we receive the best of lessons. All of them live within our heart space. All of the people that ever walk this earth that you've ever loved are in that heart space. Continue to breathe. Breathe through these happy memories, these happy lessons. Breathing through the difficulties which turned out to be joyous in the end. breathing through all the teachers that we've ever had inside and outside the classroom. And as you're breathing through these, I want you to bring to mind something that causes you concern at the moment. Anything that's been occupying your thoughts that perhaps makes you feel uncomfortable or anxious or upset in some way. And know that you are safe here in this field to bring all these emotions to the surface. It's okay to feel however you are feeling. Every human being, all 8 billion human beings on this planet, process their emotions differently. There's no one way for a human to process their emotions or to feel those emotions. So whether you want to burst out laughing or crying or somewhere in between, these emotions are yours and they are okay. These emotions are trying to tell you something. But when they become jumbled, it gets hard to decipher. So we will honor those emotions by allowing them to first flow through us. And as they come up, I want you to imagine these emotions flowing down your body, down into the earth below you, down into Mama Gaia, where she's going to help transmute these emotions so that you can better understand them one by one as it pertains to the situation that occupies your thoughts. Allow these emotions to come up and again flow them down, down, down into Mama Gaia, your earth mother who you lie upon. Allow her to absorb these emotions so that she can clean them up for you, simplify them in order for them to be more easily understood. Continue to allow these emotions to flow. And when you're ready and you're looking around this beautiful meadow landscape, you're going to see some flowers surrounding you at the moment. I want you to pick the flower that you are most drawn to. And this first flower is the first emotion. And I want you to hold that flower to your heart space. Allow it to speak to you. If its emotion was anger, we want to ask it, why? Why was there anger in there? Where is my anger coming from? Is it actually from the situation? Or is it triggering something much deeper? Something from the past, maybe? Allow this little flower to talk to you. Allow it to tell you where exactly it's coming from. And when you have a pretty good idea, thank your little flower friend and place them back in the grass. And do this with each flower and each emotion, asking it to show you where this emotion is coming from, what the emotion is trying to tell you, and where exactly you need the best healing. If you are confused on how to heal, you can also ask the flower this. As the flower is a piece of your energy as well as Mama Gaia. Take your time with each flower. And when you're ready, you can bring your awareness back into your body, knowing that you can come back to this place at any time. Anytime your emotions get confusing or there's too many happening at once, We can do this to pinpoint each and every emotion, as each and every one of them has a message for us. It shows us where we can heal, where we can grow, what we can embrace, and what we can let go of. Go ahead and breathe. Continue breathing. Keep yourself nice and grounded. And when you're ready, breathe some life into that body, and you may open your eyes. All right, wiggle those fingers and toes. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out in my kitchen, baking some cookies with us today while sharing some grandpa stories birthday, hanging out for the card pulls. Thank you to everybody who allowed me to read for them, and also everybody who got a reading for others. Thank you for hanging out during the guided meditation, all your wonderful messages. Those were fabulous. Let's go back to what you guys had said here. Lila said, yes, most definitely. I'm from the age of the Carol Burnett show. Love her work. Caitlin said the original Annie came out in 1982. Mom loved her too. Lily says, I'm a half century years old. I remember my grandfather telling me when I turned 25, he was like, you're a quarter of a century old. Happy birthday. I was like, what? Who says that? um, Caitlin said, so is my past life soulmate. He'll be 51 next week. Katia says, I'm 50 as well. Number doesn't matter because space-time continuum is above our ego state. Exactly. There is no time outside of this realm. Kaylin says, exactly, Karen. I'm turning 30 next month, but I feel 60. Aw. Katia says, love to all. Aurora, by the power of the goddesses and elements. 5, may our souls live and thrive. Blessed be everyone. Katia says, loved your impression. All right. I love you guys. I will catch you next week. I have some videos to go watch, some video suggestions that you guys had. And yeah, I'll catch you next week. Don't forget tomorrow's channeling. Those people that voted for Paul Walker, we finally got to our Paul Walker channeling. I will say he said some interesting things that had to deal with the cabal. So we'll see if my video gets flagged. All right. Well, all in all, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love you guys. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.